আছে। Don't go anywhere without me, young man. I guess I'm leaving. Bye.
Submarine that we're going to go down in a few minutes. Now, guys, as you look around again, you might see what look like bushes, trees, or plants. Okay, we're not looking at bushes or plants. This is all living animals. These are called sea whips, begonias, sea fans, sponges as well. Those that look like furry snakes, those are begonians. And these were derived from the Greek mythology, which dates back to the year about 800 BC, which was the time of the Gorgons. And we all are familiar with a lady who had snakes in place of hair, Medusa. So what happened is a bunch of those Greek divers came on diving one day looking around, and all they saw these snake-like objects. To them, that remind them of Medusa. So that's how we got the name Gorgonians. So, as we go by, now and again, just tap your neighbor, making sure he or she hasn't turned to stone. Just to be on the safe side now. And what do we have here? We have some fish. Those with the flippers and tails, those are fish. Alright. Of course, you gotta do that. But what kind are they?
That's what I like.
Okay, right now we're looking at parrotfish. Those are the very fat, bulky fish with a beak-like mouths. Those are parrotfish. And these fish is what make the sign on the reef. These guys are very destructive and very permanent. These fish are all born females when they're born. And as they mature and become adults, they can actually change from sex to sex, male to female. And you see Kelly had a large shell, that's a trumpet trident.
Oh, you knew it was down here.
Very ancient. pictures as well. And look at those yellow black striped fish. Those are known as southern natives, not zebra gray angelfish.
How long is that drive down here? Every day? How long?
And this purple looking one here, the pointed tail fins. That's the queen sugarfish. The big one to your left is a big Cubera snapper.
Where?
He's just about 30 pounds, and we call him.
Sounds like our
He said those
And we
taste
still
like
have
red
at 40 feet.
Oh, really?
And you can see out to your left where it's a bit bluer.
Well, there's some pretty. I don't think I can eat them.
Oh, okay, here's a big guy. Here's a big fish here on the right. Big guy. That's a big snapper. That's the biggest one. Have you seen that?
He's as big as mine. Randy, get
You just see a fish, you see a ton of his whales, and sometimes submarines.
Here comes right over there.
So we call them freeloaders.
Bring him up, bring him up.
Oh, there, yeah, okay.
And just by looking at these sea whips,
There he comes.
you can tell we have a bit of current out here today. Because they're all been. Okay, he just left us and gone to your left side. And wherever he goes, we will surely follow.
There's Charlie.
So Kelly's off to your left, all his
Oh, there he
Oh,
is.
my
snappers.
gosh, look
There's
at me.
Charlie.
All tails are there.
What was that little fish
And he might be feeding his big snapper still, the big Cubera snapper.
It's sucked on with him, so it goes everywhere he does.
And we still have depth of 40 feet.
Oh, see the diver has some food in his hand. In the bag there, yeah. And he's feeding the fish there to bring him along. Oh, there goes Charlie. Got a good picture of Charlie.
That was Amos.
Oh, that's Amos?
The big one's Amos, the little one's
Okay, well, Amos had a fish hooked onto it, didn't he?
Yeah.
Remora.
That's a Ramona. What?
It's also called shark sucker.
Shark sucker.
He likes to suck on a big fan.
See, so Amos got heavy on Charlie. Which one is he on? Charlie?
Amos is the big one.
Okay, so he's on Amos. I can't believe how these fish falling. Did you get any of that what? School around here like that? I mean, you know they go in pairs, they go around, I mean, hang around stuff.
Well, they're hanging around because they know that they're going to get fed.
Oh, yeah, we get down deeper now. And as you guys looking out there, you see some bright bluefish. These are tiny, bright bluefish. And these can be seen on both sides. Those are blue chromis. And not only the bright blue on the outside, they're also bright blue on the inside. So those are known as the blue chromis. And those are adults right there, about 2 inches length.
We're going down deeper now.
And on the left side here, you see the red drops away. And under us is nothing but blueness. Well, that's where we're going to go, down deeper. And who wants to go a little bit deeper? Yeah. Who wants to go deeper? No one wants to go deeper? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Guys are sleeping on you. Okay, here we go. We're going
Oh, look,
deeper.
there he goes. Look. Oh, he's forgotten all that.
And as we get deeper down, we lose lots of bright colors and stuff. Reds, yellow, oranges.
You see him?
And
Look at that.
as we get even deeper still, once we approach a depth about 95 feet, our clothing will then become transparent. So who wants to go past 90 feet? Yeah! Okay, you got it.
Really? Did you what? Oh, really? There goes Charlie.
Oh, look. Charlie don't need him, does he?
Sometimes.
Randy, look at the little white one.
Yeah, I saw it.
That was Bart Simpson.
You have seen it?
Sometimes the yellowtails will be in a big pile and he's coming over.
Alrighty, we get down some people say we're right here at 75
There's
feet.
one yellowtail
And
that's
just
got a
coming
little
into
cut.
an entrance towards Snapper Valley.
That's Andy.
And Snapper Valley is right ahead of us. And you will see what first will be a great wall of reef. This is the entrance to Snapper Valley. And as we go to the center of the reef,
So we have
you
Charlie.
will see that we have a very close
Those are the only three of those that we have here.
How do you know they're male? You got
So if
the
they're taking pictures of these windows,
I
this
think
is the
you have
best
one
time to
named
do so.
Mama.
We're going to be right close to the reef. Also, look between those cracks and caves for large lobsters, eels.
Kathy?
This is where you'll find these animals. Look in between those cracks.
Oh, look over here.
And you go, if you're in the front, look out the front window, see what's happening. We're going through a crack in the reef here.
Oh, there's one
It's
there.
like going
too.
through a tunnel.
Randy, you missed the eel sticking his head out.
Okay.
On the right side, look out for the right. Look for a spotted eel on the right side. Look for a spotted moray eel, black with yellow spots.
We'll see if we can catch a moray. They're sneaky. They like to hide down in the crack.
There he is right there. See his head sticking up by the bucket?
He's in the back.
There he is right there. Saw him? Right there. That's that spotted moray eel. Look in between those cracks. Now you have to have a nice, good eye to look between those cracks for these creatures because they do come across themselves real good. Also, you might see lobsters just coming out of the holes at this time. Lobsters, crabs, octopus,
Yep.
all out here this time.
Long one? That's a trumpet fish.
And you'll see what look like large purple pipes over there. Those are sponges as well. Those are purple tube sponges.
Randy, look at the ones hanging on the bush.
Is that an eel out there? What's
That's
it?
a trumpet fish.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So this is
And then underneath the trumpet fish, the black and white one
And
there.
you'll see lots of other snappers in here, such as
There's an eel right down there. See him?
Randy, here's the eel.
bird snapper and the school master snapper.
Oh, yeah.
Those are off to your left with the bright yellow tails. And you will see all kind of snappers as we go through this section of the reef.
What are those?
You will also
What are those
notice
fish
that
right
down
there?
here we have much more
What up
behind
there? The
corals. We have
Those
those
yellow
because
Those are called schoolmasters.
sunlight doesn't penetrate really that bright down to the stem. So all the flat rock-like
What is
structures
that great big one over
will
there?
spread out
What are those?
and that way they can absorb much light as possible.
Do you see those great big ones over there?
Those look like
We're going to pass by a formation of what look like plates off to your left. This is a formation of plate corals.
Hey, there's a buried
You
treasure.
might look off to your left right now and see the big
There's
fish.
buried treasure.
Back here by me.
Look at, there's a buried treasure, a
That's
battery.
Amos. And he likes to hide under the submarine. He's very bashful,
Look at those, Randy.
Yep.
except when it comes to lunchtime.
Your video cam?
Yeah.
You have it turned on?
Yes.
And what we have here is an old treasure box off to your left side. And that's an old battery which belongs to the shipwreck.
Oh, look at here, there's a
And this
shipwreck.
shipwreck should be right in front of us, sitting on the left side, down to the bottom.
Did you guys plant that there?
This shipwreck sank here about 2 years ago and was destroyed during a hurricane a year ago. It sank in one piece and was destroyed by Hurricane Hugo. So what you have now is just a bunch of twisted wreck. This is the wreck of the Michelle. This was, okay, a big eel, my goodness, look at that big eel right there. Jesus.
What is
God,
it?
it's a big guy, big green eel. You saw it?
No.
Lee. Okay, guys, he went under the shipwreck. Real big green guy.
No, he's...
Ah, that's a big guy.
I saw him just
Haven't seen him in years.
Under the boat?
No, under.
Now, where was I? Yes, that was a 45-foot Chris Crow fishing boat. Sank in one piece and was destroyed in a hurricane. And that was 90 feet down under. So right now we're still at 90 feet. can tell the hurricane was really awesome. Looking off to your left, you see a whole bunch of whitefish. Those are grunts. And grunts can be distinguished because they have lines that run across their bodies. So these are grunts.
Look at this one.
And when they become trapped or hooked, you can actually hear these fish grunting like pigs, showing you how these fish are from being hooked. Like,
One up the top here?
so these are the grunt fish. Also, and as you look around the ocean, flat surface, the sand patches, look over there for stingrays. The Avian stingrays all day today. We have seen a really humongous stingray today, which had a wingspan about 5 to 6 feet, which was a Southern Atlantic stingray, big brown guy, and he was just laying in the
Randy,
sand.
you want to get a picture of these blue ones? You get a good whole bunch of them there.
And right about now, we're going to go past two lovely patch reefs on both sides. And here you can see all kind of different corals out here. Those that resemble mountains or pencils. And even gumballs. And everything on the reef is named from what it resembles on the surface. And a lot of large sea fans out here. Those big brown leaves, those are the sea fans.
What are they?
Sea fans. Yeah.
Look at. Is that a big shell right there?
Can't tell.
Get them on there.
What are those flatfish? No, right there. Is that flat one?
Oh, that's a butterfly, spotted butterfly. Or a four-eyed butterfly.
Yeah, see the purple sponge?
That's a sponge.
Yep.
Dude, this is unreal. That's just white sand in the bottom of the ocean. Like salt.
White sand.
Oh yeah. Can you see the water? No, you can't really see the water. But you yeah, it is amazing. Huh?
Door open. Yeah.
They got their own little beach. Hey, they got their own little beach, honey.
You're nuts, bud.
Yeah, beachfront property.
That's right, man. They got their oceanfront property. There it is. I bet old Charlie's the king down here, huh?
Oh, you bet.
Wonder what that looks like. This is part of the show, right?
deep will this stuff go?
Maybe the water gets flooded. No. We're certified at about 150 feet with passengers. We can go down to about 250 without. It's possible recertification on a vessel up to about 150 with passengers. We don't need it here because the water doesn't go that deep.
How about in the regular channel?
Where there's sponges and stuff down there.
Look at that thing right there. Looks like it got a bunch of worms on it.
Yeah.
What deep is the channel there in the harbor? That handles the big liners.
The dock is 24.
Boy, they don't have very much.
Most of the liners only draw about 15, maybe 20.
Are you a diver yourself?
Study marine biology.
No, electrical engineering.
Electrical. How long you been working here? How long do you expect to stay? And then what?
Technical school, master's degree, maybe a doctorate.
Can't make any money here.
Probably
It's fun, isn't it? It's fun.
a lot of fun.
It's not much you like doing.
Yeah. That's my idea of trying to open a company. I'm Rochelle. Yeah, I'm deep for the life.
Where in Hawaii do you have a sub?
Waikiki Beach and
Mine.
right out
It's
the back of the
turquoise.
door.
Yeah, I got a
Turquoise. Oh.
yeah, I got a picture of it there.
Fascinating way to send it. Whatever it is, seaweed or pearl, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Sways back and forth. Ever since that reminds me of ballerina.
Look at that.
Yes,
What is that?
waves that you're seeing.
Was that right?
The parts of the wave that you see up on top of the roof, that's only about the top 5 or 10% of the wave. All the rest of it's down there. It's like a bunch of logs rolling.
That's why it's so dangerous. People that don't know how to handle the ocean. Way up underneath.
Any struggles with environmentalists over the use of the submarine?
We are very environmental. This whole thing's electronic. No fluids, no exhaust, none of that. In fact, we've been trying, and we never touch the bottom. That's where the sandy area is.
How is that?
We've been trying to make this into a national park, and that takes
So it's dangerous legislation.
yeah. And if we can make it into a national park, then nobody can anchor out here in this park.
What does it take to get for that? What do you need to have that happen?
I think basically you really need
And just going by on the right, we have this pillar of coral right here by sandcastles or gigantic printers going up to the surface.
directly or marketing people.
And we are now back up to the shallow section once again. We're just about 45 to 50 feet right here.
Might be a good idea.
And we're heading back
There's a brown one down there.
If you look between those sea whips, you might see some long stick-like fish. Those are trumpet fish. And those fish are just waiting there for the smaller fish to come by. And that way they're going to sweep them up.
99% of the people that are on this.
These trumpet fish are usually found swimming upside down. Nose down to the bottom and tail to the surface. They are usually brown, but sometimes you might find a few yellow ones. Those are very rare fish.
purpose of that cage? Is that
That is
something
a broken fish
Break
trap.
loose.
broken fish trap?
What happened is it was down here. We don't like people fishing.
Yeah. So you broke it, so
We ran into it with and that's like a mass destruction.
That's right.
That for lobster and crabs, basically.
Alright, you know. Wow, thank you. And a big hand for bringing us safely back to San
It's stingray. The stingray and the turtle. Yeah.
And a one turtle?
Right there.
Where?
St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Over the island in the distance over there is St. Juan, U.S. Virgin Islands. Looks like we're pulling away here. We get pictures of the submarine here as we're taken away. That's the submarine we went down on. port now. That's where the ships are docking. This is the island of St. Thomas. The capital of St. Thomas, where we're docked here. Up in the front is the Costa Riviera, the ship that we're on. Not the one in the back here, but the one out in front of us there. But right there is the Costa Riviera.
Please make your way to a seat. I'm going to come out and pass out some free souvenir diplomas. We'd like to thank you for riding on the submarine. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll hope you enjoy the rest of your stay in St. Thomas.